I appreciate you joining me today. We're going to continue to look at the account of Ruth. Our hymn today is called Jesus, Thou Joy of Loving Hearts.
Jesus, the joy of loving hearts, through source of life and light of man, from the vast wastes and turning hearts, we turn unveiled to you again.
Yesterday, we began to look at the account of Ruth as her and Naomi come back from, Ruth was a Moabitess. They had gone there. Of course, there's a famine, and Naomi had lost so much. And as she comes back, she tells the daughter-in-laws to go back, and Ruth stays with her. And as they come back, and as Ruth was gleaning in the field, like we spoke about yesterday, eventually we have chapter 3, verse 1, as Naomi says to her, "My daughter, shall I not seek security for you, that it may be well with you?" Now Boaz, whose young women you are with, is he not our relative? And we were introduced to Boaz, of course, yesterday. He's winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor, and so Naomi tells her what she should do. That she should go anoint herself, wash herself, anoint herself, put on her best garment, and go down. Go down to the threshing floor. Don't make yourself known to the man until he's finished eating and drinking. And there they are. And you can tell there are cultural things going on in the account, more than one. One happens at the end of chapter 4. But of course, what Naomi's talking about is finding a husband for Ruth. And it's just a wonderful account. And it's somewhat of an odd account. If you look at it and you think, well, what does this have to do with the Bible? I mean, here we are. It's like we just got finished with the Judges. And of course, we're about to get into Samuel. And therefore, we're about to get into the time of the Kings. So why include this? And of course, we're following the seed, we're following the lineage. But at the same time, the account is just a lovely account. And so she comes to Boaz, Ruth comes to Boaz. Boaz understands, and Boaz is an older man at this point, and she is going to be blessed. They are going to be blessed. As she comes back to Naomi, and she tells Naomi, this is what's happened. Naomi says, "Sit still, my daughter, until you know how the matter will turn out, for the man will not rest until he has concluded the matter this day." So then we get to chapter 4, and Boaz talks with the men, because the law was, it was to the closest relative. They had the right to redeem. They had the right of redemption. And so he says Naomi has come back from the country of Moab, and all that she has should be redeemed. And so he talks to the closer relative, and he says, if you'll redeem it, redeem it. Verse 4. But if you will not redeem it, then tell me that I may know. Because he was the next in line as far as kinship goes. And he says, I will redeem it. Then Boaz says, now on the day you buy it from Naomi, you also have to buy it from Ruth, the Moabitess. And so it was going to cost more money. And the close relative says, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I ruin my own inheritance. And so as this happens, and here you have the culture as well, the taking off of the sandal, verse 8, to signify what was happening. He says, you are witnesses this day that I bought all that was Elimelech's, as well as the sons from the hand of Naomi. And moreover, I have acquired Ruth as my wife, to perpetuate the name of the dead through his inheritance. And all the people were at the gate. They all said, we are witnesses. May your house be like the house of Perez. That's, by the way, in the lineage. and whom Tamar bore to Judah, because that's the lineage, because of the offspring which the Lord will give you from this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And when he went in to her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bore a son. Then the women said to Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a close relative, and may his name be famous in Israel. And may he be to you a restorer of life and a nourisher of your old age. Okay, the simple points that I wanted to make just from that passage. What is Ruth? What is the book of Ruth really about? One thing it's about restoration. Naomi had lost so much, and yet what is she told? May he be to you a restorer of life. This account is about restoration. From verse 13, this account is about redemption. Boaz redeemed Ruth. It's also, of course, about the bride. You have Naomi, you have Boaz, you have Ruth. You have the restoration, you have redemption, and you have the bride. And is that not what the gospel is about? Is that not what the whole plan of salvation is about? It's about restoration. It's about redemption. It's about the bride of Christ, preparing ourselves for the groom. As the account goes on, we would be remiss if we didn't read the last part. This is the genealogy of Perez. Perez begot Hezron. Hezron begot Ram. Ram begot Amminadab. Amminadab begot Nahshon. And Nahshon begot Salmon. Salmon begot Boaz. And Boaz begot Obed. Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse begot David. And that's where we are. David, his father was Jesse. His grandfather was Obed. His great-grandfather is the one who redeemed Ruth. His great-grandfather. David's great-grandmother was Ruth. Wonderful account. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.